Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, I have discussed about how to store some of the data in our database, right? Now in this video, I want to discuss about how can add some of the query, how can add some of the query in our all the database table field area. So if you want to add this query better, I want to add some of the data. So if you want to add another data, simply click as a add data. Now go to that input file, and into this input file, I select as a JSON. Into this JSON, I want to select one of the file. So if you go to your exercise folder, in your desktop, there is your exercise file, and into this exercise file, I have already shared one of the user data as a users.json data. So I simply select it and now open it. I simply open that user JSON, and that will be one of the JSON format data. And now if you click as the input, now you can see it's now imported completed. That means every data is now successfully imported. You can see there is Aryan, now there is a new one as added as a Kazi, and there is another name. So I simply loaded some of the name in here. So that is some of the JSON data. So right now I have a 6 data, and from here if you want to change any field name, simply click as a double click, and from here you can simply change that name, and after that if you click as update, then that will be updated. So right now it's totally fine. Right now there is a 6 data, and first of all I want to add some of the query. How can do that work? If you want to do that work like here, in particular that positions, right now I want to make everything as a comment out. I simply make it as a comment out. With pressing that Ctrl/ at a time, you can make all the things as a comment out. Great. Here first of all I want to declare one of the function. So that will be as a function, and function name I name it as a fetch information. Fetch information. And for the fetch information, I simply created one of the method, and I want to declare this method here. After this, I want to declare this method. I simply declare it. So now that will be one of the asynchronous function, because it should be take some of the time. So for the reasons here, I make it as a async. So that will be async, and to load that as a async. So our first work I want to do into the user model, and into the user model that is all that our data. I want to get all the data. So if you want to get all the data, then you have to do, I simply take one of the variable as a constant variable, and into this constant variable I name it as users, and then our model name, if you want to access this model, that will be as await, right? That will be await, and with this await I want to access our user model. Now with this user model I want to add one of the method as a find method. That will be as a one find method, and into this find method area right now I want to get all data. For the reasons here I make it as a empty. When you make it as a empty, and now if you want to display it like into the console log, I want to display our user data, then everything will be more clear. That is your console log. That is a console log. Into this console log area I want to print our this user. I simply paste it. Great. Now I want to check it. Now if you click as a save all, and now if you want to check it like here, that is our terminal data. I want to run our server again as a node index. I want to run this node index. Better I close it. Open another new terminal is open. So that is our appropriate position. I want to make it as a node index. Node index, click as a enter. Now that should be get all the data. You can see now that is successfully get one data, there is another data, every data is now successfully get, and now it's visible in here. So that is all that our array data. So that is all that our array object. So that is all that our array object data. So I hope it's very much clear to you how can get one of the particular collection all that documents data. Now all that our collection documents data is visible. So now I want to add another query. Here I want to add another query like in our data. In our data, if you go again into this data, like some of the is married as a false, and also there is a is married as a true, another one is married as a false, and there is a true, right? I want to do which user is not married. That means the is married is false. I want to get this data. If you want to get this data, it will be very simple. I simply copy it, and now here in our particular that position, here I want to pass as is married. Sorry, it should be in one line. Is married, I want to make it as a false. When is married will be as a false, I want to get this user data. Now if you want to check it, click as a save all. Now open the new terminal again, and here I want to run as a node there is a node index. Now click as a enter. Now that should be get which user is married as a false. You can see is married as a false, also is married as a false, and also there is another one as is married as a false. Right now there is a 3 data, and now this 3 data is visible successfully. Okay, how you can get it? I hope it's very much clear to you. And also if you want to get only which user salary as 80,000, if you want to only get this data, you can also get it. Then you can add that another one, like here after this I take another one that will be as a comma, and I want to put another query as a salary. Okay, salary, and salary I want to take which user salary as 80,000, only just simply get this user data. Okay, so if you want to get it, simply I click as a save all. Now that should be also get all which user data will be only as 80,000, and which user data is married as a false, then it will be get this data. Okay, if you go to the new line, that will be as a control C into the control C. Now I want to run it again as a node and then index. Now click as a enter. Now you can see it's not perfectly get this data. This user that is married as a false and salary as a 80,000, and also there is another user is married as a false and salary as a 80,000. It's perfectly get both of these data. Okay, so when you use that as a find method, with this find method you will get all that your array data, and also there is another method as a find one. Okay, find one method. So find one is actually return one of the object data. Just simply remember it. Find method is return of the array data, and find one will be returned one of the object data, but both of these will be just like that same. And also there is another method as a find by ID. Okay, so I make it as a find, better I make it as a find by, okay, find by ID. That is also another method. So with this find by ID, if you want to get some of the specific ID, you can see there is also one of the ID, and that is our ID. So this ID is totally unique one of the name. If you want to get a specific this ID, you can get it. Like I want to copy this one. Okay, I copy this one. Better I copy it, or rather than I copy this one, I copy it, and now into the find by ID. Here I want to add it. Okay, I want to simply add this now into the single quote. So I simply add it. Now that should be get only one data without this specific ID data. Okay, now if you click as a save all, and now if you go now control C, I want to open another terminal. So now that is will be as a node index. Now click as a enter. Now that should be get only one data specific with this ID. Okay, it should be searched in our particular ID area. When it should be match this ID, then it should be get a specific this user data. Okay friend, I hope you'll get some of the idea how to add some of the query in your database, all the data, and how you can get some of the data with a specific your query. I hope it's very much clear to you. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.